who is a very, very, very dear. And I think I said very 3 times because he is a very, 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 very dear person. Now it's made 4. And someone with whom I find a lot of beautiful bonding at the heart. And as I said earlier, yoga and yoga therapy is all about the heart and the spirit. Kausthub, for me, represents the Gen Next of yoga and yoga therapy, because bringing together the ancient traditional wisdom with a modern perspective. The modern perspective is both educational as well as in the attitude we have to open up to the modern context. And I think this is something which is very, very special. So without taking too much time, I would just like to say that we at CYTER in SBV are very, very happy that we have Kausthub as our adjunct faculty, a visiting faculty. And that is something that we value tremendously. I value his friendship. I value the interactions we have academically, yogically, socially, and of course with our laughter that comes together when you get 2 people who have wicked sense of humor together. So with that, I take this opportunity to give over the mic to Kausthub and let him enlighten us with his thoughts this afternoon.
Thank you, sir. So, namaste, my friends. Namaste, all of you. This is, I think, the 3rd time I am coming here to speak. And it's like in the airports, we have random security screening. Especially when we travel to America nowadays. I am randomly always selected for random security screening. I have a strange feeling it has something to do with the color of my skin. Same way, in CYTER it's the 3rd time, and randomly I am always given the post-lunch session for the 3rd consecutive time. And this morning I was actually thinking about why I get this great fortune, and I was actually thinking that, maybe there is some hidden meaning behind. So, in Tamil we always say, Oru kallila rendu manga, which means you get 2 mangoes with 1 stone. So on the one hand, Ananda wants to really honor me to speak at these wonderful events, and he's succeeding with that by asking me to come. On the second hand, he wants to save you all the trauma of listening to my words. So after nice lunch, like always we have very good lunch, you will go to sleep when I speak, so you don't suffer from my presentations. So he is saving you also so that you can be healthy. And I think that's the only reason why I get these post-lunch sessions. So if you sleep, you are welcome to sleep. I will not take it offensive at all. In fact, I will be so happy because I don't have much to say anyway. Having said that, I am really, really privileged to be here, to be part of the CYTER family and to be part of Ananda's family. I am always very grateful to Ananda for our friendship and our relationship. And I am always happy whenever Ammaji is sitting to listen to me, because it is a great blessing to have elders like that to listen to youngsters speak. Probably she is doing quality check. So I don't mind. And the same Professor Madan Mohan sir always is there, and I'm so happy to speak in the presence of these great elders, but also a little bit nervous. So if I'm nervous a bit, you can understand why. Having said that, I find this very fascinating, this topic of the seminar, which is actually what is called Swastha Manas. Swastha Manas. This is a very fascinating concept. And my topic is supposed to be talking about how yoga can help change our negative patterns into something which is more positive. So I'd like to relate it with the concept of the Swastha Manas, because first of all we have to understand what is the meaning of this term Swastha Manas. Swastha is a powerful Sanskrit word mentioned very often in the Ayurveda field, not so much in the yoga field, but very much mentioned in the Ayurvedic field as a definition of what is called health. Health is defined as swastha. And this is a very important concept because Swastha is divided into two parts, Swa and Stha. Stha means to remain, to stay. Swa means oneself. To remain true to your nature, to remain true to yourself. That is what is health. Very simple presentation I always do when I talk about this. It's part of the reason why human beings are suffering a lot today. When you look at a tomato plant, now let's say you are growing a tomato plant in your garden and it's growing very well and it has no disease. The leaves are so green and so juicy, the stem is so healthy and strong, but it gives no tomatoes. Now, that is not considered a healthy tomato plant, right? The same is how yoga and Ayurveda look at health. You are not merely healthy because you have the absence of disease. You are only healthy when you are established in your potential. You can only be healthy when your potential is expressed. That's why in yoga we often use the word called self-realization. Self-realization is not that you sit in a cave and meditate and suddenly you find yourself and then you suddenly call yourself Swamiji or something like Guruji or something like that. Actually, self-realization is to realize your potential into who you can be. This is the very, very important part of health as presented in the yoga science as well as in the Ayurvedic sciences. And this is a very key difference between Western medicine and the yogic approach to health and therapy. I'm sorry I'm speaking in a hospital, but certainly Western medicine will not really understand yoga as a therapy because yoga as a therapy is not coming from modern science. Yoga tools were already discovered long ago when modern science did not exist. I don't think anybody is getting admitted to this hospital because their kundalini is turning in the wrong direction. You know, a doctor cannot treat you for such kind of things. But yoga tools have been presented long ago when those kind of phenomena were still understood. Slowly it's becoming less and less understood. That's a problem. So going back to this idea, Swastha is very important, and that's why we are not really healthy, my friends, because we are not really ourselves. We are all trying to be somebody else. Human beings are probably the only species that is going to have the need to go to a university to get a degree to then find out what they want to do in their life. An animal, a cat does not go to school to say, okay, I am now a master of being a cat. I am now a master of being a dog. I am now a master of being a giraffe. They don't need education because they are following their swasthaness. They are rooted in themselves. We are not. Somehow some disconnection happens. And this disconnection can happen because of two things. Either our own traumas, our own egos built based on the trauma, or from society. In India, I don't know how it is in the West, but in India, many parents decide already when a child is born what the child has to become. They'll reserve a seat already in engineering college, start making fixed deposit in the bank, so that there is enough money by the time it is 18 or 19 to go to that engineering degree. Poor child doesn't even know how to open its eyelids. But already its destiny as an engineer is decided, or its destiny as a doctor is decided. How can it have its own swasthaness? That's why we become sick. And many times I also see about this in other countries. People are always functioning based on what other people will say, what other people will judge. Last year I went to America. People always said, oh, you know what you need? You need an image manager. Because they can manage your image very well. Because people want to only look at the image, not at the person. And that's what all the politicians are doing, businessmen are doing. We are selling an image. We are not really being ourselves. That is why we are sick. Simple question, my friends. Don't make it too philosophical. What is this? Oh, phone. Simple, madam. Let us be very simple. This is a phone. Suppose Professor Madan Mohanji says, no, this is a fantastic car. It's not going to become a car. Our friend from Bengal says, no, this is a very bad horse. It's not going to become a horse. And our friend from New Zealand, Mr. Selvan, says, no, this is actually a sheep. I'm going to take it for sharing. Did I say it correct, sir? Sharing? Yeah, I never get the spelling right. Because sharing is something different for us. So it's not going to become a sheep. It is going to remain a phone. Same with each of us. No matter what somebody else says, that this is what we are, that is what you are. Somebody may say 4 good things to you. Somebody else may say 4 bad things to you. Neither will define who you are. I look at a tomato plant and I say, give me pineapples. It cannot give pineapples. I look at a cat and say, I want you to be a dog. It will not become a dog. Yet we as human beings, we are always trying to be somebody else based on what other people are defining us. Today morning, somebody was talking about photographs on Facebook and Instagram. Actually, it was my bus driver. I was coming, he was talking to his assistant about putting his photo on Instagram and Facebook. I was so shocked that even a bus driver has Facebook and Instagram. And he was talking about filters to make him look more attractive. Now, we all have all these apps and this and that to make us look better. Image management. It comes down to image. What is an image? Patanjali already talks about it. This is what is called ego. Asmita. Swami Shaktyoho. Swarupa Upalabdhi Hetuhu. Samyogaha. So, and the idea is that we are confusing between who we really are and who actually we think we are. And this has 2 problems. Ego has 2 problems. Some people, like me, for example, we have the problem of overconfidence. We think too much of ourselves. Whereas some other people, they think too low of themselves. Both are an ego problem. Don't think ego problem only means high ego. Low ego is also a problem. And that's why we are not in our swasthana. Somebody has to keep tapping our head and says, hey, you fellow with the high ego, you have to step down. That's what Ananda is doing to me. I actually was 6 foot tall, but he smashed me so hard, so many times, I've lost about a foot. Weight also, madam. Because he could not smash me like that anymore, he started going like that. So, some other people needs to be nourished so that those who have low self-esteem start to come to their actual self-esteem. We have both problems. In India, we have 2 extremes. People who are very arrogant and people who are looking at themselves very low. That's why we are very sick. We need to find a balance so that we are in the middle. We are in the balanced state of our swasthaness. We have to accept who we are. But this also has a small problem. The word stha is so fascinating because it represents something like a stability. But stability does not mean things don't change. Who we are in summer is different from who we are in winter. Who we are in winter is different from who we are in spring. Who we are 5 years ago is very different from who we are now. I just had my 25th reunion of my school a few months ago, and I look at all my friends. They're all looking very different. And they're also saying, you're looking different. Of course, 25 years have passed. We cannot be the same. Now, what is the problem with our ego is 2 things. We are often attached to the past based on our hurt. Oh, he said this, he said that, he said this. So we are not in the present. Either happy moments or unhappy moments, ego wants to hold on to. A lot of people ask me, sir, why we are holding to negative more than positive? Why? Negative is held more than positive. Again, no Western psychology can give a proper answer. Yoga has the answer. Ayurveda has the answer. Negative things are connected with what is called tamoguna. Tamas, by nature, is sticky. It will not let go. Whereas joy is more happiness, is not so sticky. So we forget our happy moments very easily. You had good moments, no problem. Married for 25 years happily, very good. One bad mistake, finished. We remember the one bad mistake longer than 25 years of good memories. Because negative is sticky. Tamas is sticky. So we function based on memory. We are not functioning based on the present moment. Then there's the other problem. We are in the future. Expectation. Oh, this will happen, that will happen, this will happen. Some of my students come to, yesterday already they start asking, oh, we are going to Pondicherry. Yes. What will we do? What's the plan? What will happen? I said, I don't know. Can we go to the beach, White Town? I said, I've been to Pondicherry so many years, I don't even know there is a White Town. And somebody is saying, can we stop in a wine shop because there is a beer there that is not sold in Chennai? I don't even know that this is possible. But the point is, everybody wants already to plan the future. But me, I have learned from experience that one of the greatest lessons India can teach human beings is to be in the present moment. We cannot plan anything. That's why, Madan Mohan sir, I do not organize seminars or conferences in India. Because we cannot plan anything. Anything will happen. Anything is possible. But we have expectation of future. We are not in the present. What will happen, we don't know. So we are in the past or in the future because of ego, because of expectation. We are missing the present moment. And this is where I always think about this through this metaphor. You have a pipe and water is passing through this pipe. Now water goes from one end to the other. It's finished, it's done its job. The pipe doesn't claim ownership over the water, nor the experience it had with the water. It's gone. It's waiting for the next consignment of water to come in. Once it's gone, the next consignment of water is coming. The pipe doesn't claim ownership. Whereas we human beings, we claim ownership over these experiences we have. We have experience of this ownership. Like life is going on, which is the water. It's flowing. Life is flowing like water. We are that pipe. We are that container through which experiences happen. But then we want to claim ownership. That's why we are disconnected from our swasthanas, because the present moment is not the same as the past moment. The present moment will not be the same as the future moment. So swastha means to also stay connected to what is happening in the present. The moment you are connecting yourself with the past, you are not in swastha, you are in avastha. In Tamil we say this, you are in suffering. That's what happens. We are always complaining about what happened. We are missing the current moment. We are missing the current moment. That's why Patanjali is talking about to be in the moment. Atha, yoga, anushasana. The first word, atha itself means be present. Because if you are not present, you are not really going to be healthy. Your tomato plant gave 20 kgs of tomato last year. So what? This year it will only give you 5 kgs. You have to accept it. Next year it may give you 50 kgs, but you cannot plan that. You have to accept what is happening. That is the problem with us human beings. We are expecting some things from the future based on our past, and therefore we miss the present moment. And that is where the problem lies, because we are disconnected from the present moment because of a simple thing that is called disconnection. Today morning, our friend Dr. Pandya was talking about many different fantastic things. There was one slide where he said, 10 years ago how life was, how it is today. 10 years ago how life was, how life is today. And everything is the computer. I think his slide is about 5 years old. Because today it's not computer, it's all phone. Mobile phone, which they call very smartphone. Very smartphone. Actually, it's more smart than us. No? So, the problem is, we are all connected to other things, but we are disconnected to ourselves. And that is where the problem arises. In Hatha Pradipika, they keep talking about what is called Tri Granthi Bedhana. You have to remove 3 blockages. So people start thinking, what is a blockage? We're talking about cardiac blockage, sir, heart blockage, sir. Yes, that is all old modern language. But Patanjali talked about, Hatha Pradipika talks about again and again 3 blockages. The first blockage they call Brahma Granthi, that is located in the heart chakra, the blockage in the heart. What does it mean? Very simple. Very simple. It means your blockage to feel what you are feeling. I ask some people, how are you? Many people reply, I think I am happy. I think I am happy. Nobody actually feels happy. I think I am sad. So people have lost the capacity to feel. Do you feel? And simple fundamental things, not very complicated things like, oh, love, compassion, all these romantic language, nothing like that. Simple things like hunger. How many people feel hunger naturally? This is also something we have programmed. Why? Because Ananda said 2 o'clock your lecture, lunch is 1 to 2. Now lunch is 1 to 2. Time is fixed. Now you are not hungry at that time. What can you do? My dog, my cat doesn't plan 8:30 breakfast, 12 o'clock lunch, 5:30 dinner. It doesn't plan that. We have planned it. I have to teach class at 9 o'clock, 7:30 I have to have breakfast. Breakfast is not there, I am getting angry. 12 to 1 lunchtime, 1 o'clock I have classes to teach. If it's not there, so I get used to having program. I stop feeling hungry. I eat because I have to have a plan. So fundamental feelings we are not having. Tiredness. I remember having this conversation with Ammaji a few years ago. Ananda never feels tired. Now, thankfully, now he started feeling tired. Because he's doing so much. We are doing so much now. We have to do so much in today's society. We don't even feel fundamental things like fatigue. I cannot ask my boss vacation or rest time because I have a deadline to finish. Can I go tell my boss, sir, I need to rest today. Please give me a day off. I'll lose my job. Pink slip will be there next day in the table. So fundamental things like hunger and thirst we cannot feel. Brahma Granthi. Vishnu Granthi in the throat. How many of you actually are able to say what you feel? You don't like somebody, can you say I don't like you? Women ask me, how do I look in this dress? I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know. If I say you look beautiful, it's harassment. Oh, you have other intentions. If I say you look horrible, it's harassment. You are emotionally harassing me. If I have no comments, you don't like me. So we are suffocating because we cannot even say what we feel. So it's a very dangerous world we are living in because we cannot even say what we feel. Indians are very, very good with that. Normally when somebody asks a question, we are calculating what answer they want to hear. And we will answer according to what they want to hear, what we think they want to hear. Whether it is what they want to hear or not is not the question because we don't know what they are thinking. But it is based on what we think they want to hear. Where is the road to Mahabalipuram? Answer is I don't know. But I don't want to say I don't know. So I'm calculating to think, what is this person wanting? Does he like Mahabalipuram? Does he not like Mahabalipuram? If he likes Mahabalipuram, this way. If he doesn't like Mahabalipuram, Mahabalipuram is a bad place, don't go there. So we don't even express what we feel. Very simple thing, I don't know. The reality is I don't know, but we don't want to say I don't know. How many times we are lost in the traffic because no bugger wants to tell us he doesn't know. We keep asking auto driver which way, he says this way, next auto driver that way, next auto driver that way, then they start fighting. No, not this way, they start fighting, and we are looking. And then some of my foreign students asking, what's going on?
There is a take diversion.
Take diversion. What to do? Signal is red, we go. Signal is green, we go. We don't know what we are doing. So Vishnu Granthi is the blockage to what we are, to express what we feel. Rudra Granthi, blockages in perception. How many people actually see what is an object in front of us as how it is? We see based on how we want to see. We like one person, oh, the nice person. He may be doing atrocious things. Very nice person, sir. Somebody else we don't like, they may be doing very good service to people. Very bad person, sir. Whether we like something or not, the way we perceive things is not based on reality. There is a blockage. We don't see things as they are. We don't see things as they are. Many people come and tell me, love is blind. I say, yes, but in India there is a second saying, love is blind, marriage opens your eyes. But unfortunately, you have to marry for your eyes to become open. You know. So, we don't see things as they are. We are seeing things based on perception. Ego. Patanjali also talks about this. Grahana, Swarupa, Asmita, Anvaya, Arthavatva, Samyamat, Indriya Jaya. Senses do not see things as they are. They see things based on your identifications. I was talking to Madam Mohan sir about my daughter. When my daughter was about to be born, she was in the mother's belly. Suddenly I started seeing all baby shops. And I would go to all the shop and say, "You are new?" "No sir, we have been here for 20 years. Why, I never seen it. But because now I have a need, suddenly we start seeing baby shops. Because in deep inside our mind, there is an identification. So we see things based on identification. We don't see things based on how it is. We see things based on how it is. Now, one of the great luxuries of being in a yoga conference all over the world is that men's toilet never has a line. We never have a line because there are hardly any men in yoga field anymore. I don't know why, but I think the women have scared all the men away from yoga. We go to the trees. So, now the question is, somebody goes into the wrong bathroom, people make such a big drama. Based on identification, that bathroom, do you have in the house male bathroom, female bathroom? But suddenly somebody puts on board male bathroom, female bathroom, it becomes a bad place for some, a good place, right place for some, wrong place for somebody else. So we see how complicated we are. All these are because of these blockages, are because of very simple answer according to Patanjali, that is because of asmita, the ego, the identification, in various forms. In various forms, whether we like it or not, this is the ego. And that's a very big problem because ego is a construct of the mind. Ego is the construct of the mind. And we are all looking for answers in the mind. And that is precisely the problem. That is precisely the problem. Because mind is a place of memory. Mind is not the place of connection. You cannot connect with somebody through the mind. If you want to connect with somebody, you have to connect through the heart. That's why everybody calls heart-to-heart connection. Nobody I've ever heard say mind-to-mind connection. Sometimes people say intellectual compatibility. I don't even understand what that means. I'm not intellectual, maybe that's why. No. What is very important, and that's why Patanjali is talking so strongly, is that the connection is happening in the heart space. It's not in the mind space. And this is the problem also with modern science. Because in modern science, mind is between the two ears. In one nice box called the brain or the skull. The skull. No. That's what I told my students in New Zealand, sir, you were missed there. I said I went to the doctors and they had me go through a scan. My left brain, nothing was right. In my right brain, nothing was left. Because we're giving so much importance to the brain because of modern science. Because everything is made into this. But that is not what Patanjali is teaching us. And this is problem with interpretation as well. Many people tell me, but yoga is about the mind. I say, that's the problem with language. Yes, Patanjali defines yoga as chitta vritti nirodha. So I ask people, what is chitta? In English, very simple translation, mind. But there is a problem because people don't understand the technical details. Every technical science must be understood through its language, not through general language. For example, if I go to a legal lawyer dealing with divorces, when I use the word separation, he will think about separation. Whereas a real estate agent, when I say I want to do some separation, he will think that they want to break the house in two parts and build. So technical matter is important. In yoga, especially Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, if you look at the words used for the mind, there are many words used. Manas, Asmita, Buddhi, Chitta, Pratyaya, Sattva. 6 different words are used for representing the noun that is called mind. And you have to understand it through that technicality, because what is called Manas, Buddhi, Manas, Asmita and Buddhi are what is called the external minds. That's where we are all living, the modern mind. Whereas Chitta, Sattva, Pratyaya and Sattva are what is called the internal mind. The Chitta is the heart mind, the mind that is in the heart, the mind that can connect. That's why Patanjali is saying Chitta Vritti Nirodha. He does not say Mano Vritti Nirodha. Manas is a very easy word. And you really carefully understand this in the end of the 2nd chapter. When Patanjali talks about benefits of pranayama, he says, Dharanasuja yogyata manasaha. Mind may become fit for meditation, but that mind is not yet done what is called pratyahara. The next sutra, pratyahara, he uses the word chitta. Svavishaya asamprayoge chittasya swarupa anukara eva indriyanam pratyahara. Already the mind has moved from manas to chitta. Because manas mind is sensory mind. The mind that you have when you go shopping. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Whereas chitta is the mind that makes the connection without judgment. Without judgment. Because when you judge, you are here, not here. Your child may be bad, your child may be evil, but you still have a connection to the child. You will never see it as bad or good. It's a very different mind, where you make the connection from. Chitta. Dharana. Desha bandhaha. Chittasya dharana. He doesn't use the word manas. Dhyanam and samadhi. Pratyaya mind. Even more deeper than chitta mind. Tatra pratyaya ekatanata dhyanam. Tadeva arthamatra nirbhasam swarupa shunyamiva samadhi. Same mind pratyaya is in samadhi. Dharana, dhyanam and samadhi, pratyaya mind. Kaivalyam, sattva mind. So there are different words for the mind. So when Patanjali is talking about mind, he is not talking about this mind in Chitta Vritti Nirodha. He is talking about the heart mind. Yoga is a connection. we are all disconnected. We are all so disconnected from each other, from ourselves. Like I said, we don't really know how we are feeling. We don't know how we are feeling. Even if we know, we are not really expressing. Very often I know how I feel. In the morning I have breakfast at one local place called Sangeeta restaurant. And usually there is a gang. We call ourselves the Sangeeta gang because we are usually bored men. Just don't know how to cook. So we come and have breakfast in the Sangeeta every day almost. Don't look at me like that, madam. I am guilty as charged. I don't know cooking. I know eating, madam. Huh? I don't read mind, madam. I am observing you. Reaction. I cannot read the mind of a woman, madam. It's difficult. Because then I would be able to say the right answer, no? When somebody asks me, how do I look? I would be able to say that. I don't. So these fellows, they ask, how are you? We just casually say, fine. Sometimes I know how I am. But I don't say it. I don't say, yeah, today morning I have diarrhea. I don't feel so good. I feel depressed. I cannot say. So we have blockages. We are disconnected. We don't want to say the truth. A lot of people say, we have to be truthful. We have to be truthful. Patanjali's yoga's concept of truth is very simple. Yan manasa dhyayati tad vacha vadati tad karmana karoti. What you feel, you say, and you act. There is cohesion between what you feel, what you say, and what you act. Sir, we'll come to your seminar. Nobody will show up. They say something, do something else. We don't like something, we say, wonderful. How was lunch? Wonderful. And behind we go and say, bloody horrible lunch. So we don't really say what we feel. We don't do what we are supposed to say. Problem. So this is why we are disconnected, because we are dividing our energy in 3 different directions at least. Words are going one way, actions are going one way, thoughts are going somewhere else. And to complicate this, the beautiful Western people introduce politeness and political correctness into the equation. Life becomes even more miserable. So we have to be so careful what we are saying. You know, we have to be so careful. Ananda, really it's not a joke, but it's actually sometimes a joke. In California a few years ago, I was waiting in line in a juice shop, and my friend, a white man, was standing next to me, and there was a black man who was standing in front of him. So I very casually asked my white friend very softly, why are we not supposed to call them black men? So the white guy is like, very tense. He becomes very tense. The black guy hears about this, he turns around, he looks at me and says, you can, brother, but not him. So, you see, it becomes so complicated, and all this politeness. You cannot ask a woman, do you like me or do you not like me? Do you want to go for a coffee? It's very complicated. Why don't we make life more simple? You want to ask somebody out, you have to be very careful. You want to go for a coffee at breakfast time? If you say something very direct, it's too direct. So we make life so miserable because we are so disconnected. Animals and plants are so connected. My cat, when she is upset with me, she tells me she is upset with me with her behavior. But that doesn't stay forever. Next day she comes back with a lot of love. So she lets go. Whereas we don't say what we want to say, but we hold on to that feeling, don't let it go. We're basically making our human body, mind, emotions a garbage can without any disposal. It's only accumulating, never letting go. That's why Meenaji has to teach us this dancing, letting go, choo choo, She is not even the first Pondicherry PhD in yoga, but she is the first person who has made me do choo choo. Even when Ananda tried last time in Kaivalyadamma, I secretly walked out to the bathroom at that time. But with Meenaji, I could not escape. You have to thank Ananda, madam. He trapped me. He was on my other side. I could not get out. And I could not even jump in front because Ammaji was sitting right in front. So the Ananda family basically trapped me. So you see, life can be made simple, but we make it so much more complicated. You look at animals, you look at plants, you look at our ancestors, they were more straightforward. They were more simple. They were more rooted in themselves. They were in swastha state, whereas we don't. We build boundaries that we cannot fit in. It's like our clothes. Ready-made clothes we take, we want to try and squeeze into that size. And we want one size small so that our ego says, I am size 3, not size 4. And we are holding our breath. We are doing everything to fit that. But my grandmother had no problem because she only wears sari, one size only, fits all. So there was no problem about whether she became fat or skinny or this or that, because if you become fat, other people will not like you. Why we become so complicated? This is the reason we are disconnected from ourselves. You look at animals and plants, they are much more simple. And that's why, my friends, when we want to reconnect with happiness, swastha, we cannot look at everybody the same. We all have to become who we are. We all have to become who we are, not try to change somebody else. And I always remember this story when I grew up. We would always go to my mother's village called Lakshmipuram for the temple festival. And there was one man in the village. His name in Tamil was Grama Tirida. He was a village thief. But everybody accepted him as the village thief. And when something went missing, they'll go to his house, they'll find it, come back, bring it. But they never judged him. They said, he is like that. We cannot change him. We accept him like he is. Whereas we put all these difficult boundaries, wanting people to fit into that boundaries that we are unreasonably creating. Body image has to be like that. Educationally has to be like that. Behavior-wise he has to be like that. You can never be upset or angry. Oh, you are a yoga teacher, how can you be angry? How can you not be angry if you are a yoga teacher? You have to deal with yoga students. Correct, sir? Correct, ma'am? So, this is the problem. We are trying to create these boxes that is called ego. Ego is basically a box. And we are trying to fit into that box that really is not really in our size in any way. And it will never be the same because we are not the same size. So that's why when you look at what is called swastha, the only way to be connected is by connecting with each other with our hearts. For that first we have to connect to ourselves. Because if you don't know how you feel, how can you expect to know how another person feels? If you don't know yourself, how can you know somebody else? So first learn to open your own hearts to yourself without judgment. Don't think you are bad, don't think you are great, don't think you are this, don't think you are that. That doesn't define you. The same, once you do that, then you will be able to accept and respect the other person in front of you. That's why in our country we don't say hi, hello. We say namaste. Because it basically means I honor you. We don't say hi, hello. Or casually, what's up? You know? That's why the app was called WhatsApp. And now we are getting our own version, sir, called Kimbo. You know that? Our Baba Ramdev is fighting for Indian nationalism. No WhatsApp. We don't want to be under Facebook control. We only want to be under control of Baba Ramdev. So we have to have Kimbo. Forget about Facebook or WhatsApp. Why are you laughing, madam? It's the truth. So, please, what? Enjoying Kimbo. It had a few defects, madam, so they're reworking on it. Engineering difficulties. I just look at sir. You're in the line of perception, madam. What can I do? So, we have to forget about all these complicated life and go back to the heart, open to ourselves first, then open to others so that we can respect each other. Love is not about control. You want to love your child, don't control your child. You want to love your partner, don't control your partner. That doesn't mean they can go and do whatever they want. Be careful. Keep one eye open. Close one eye. My father always used to say this. He was telling this to many people. When you are searching for a teacher, keep both eyes open. When you find a teacher, close one eye. Because we must not self-disempower ourselves completely to anybody. We have to have self-empowerment. That is what is connection. A teacher need not tell you what you should do. A teacher has to help you discover this truth yourself. A teacher should not become a bus driver. Come on the bus, I will drive you where you want to go. The teacher is somebody who puts the map on the GPS of the bus and says, okay, now you go drive, this is the direction you have to go. It will guide you. That's what is a teacher. That is what is an acharya. It's not to have a follower. Now all the gurus have followers. They follow him blindly or follow him on Facebook and Instagram. They're all followers. I have 10 million followers, I have 1 million followers, people are fighting. We don't need followers. We need everybody to become leaders, empowered. That is when we will become swastha. Swastha is a very powerful word, my friends. It's the same word that Patanjali is using in the second sutra, Tada Drashtuhu Swarupe Avasthanam. Swarupe Avasthanam. Please remember, everybody has different seeds. What you can be, I cannot be. What I can be, you cannot be. Ananda is Sakalaka Vallavan. It's like multi-talented singer, dancer, yoga teacher, scientist. I don't know how he is doing it. That's why he has so much energy, madam. I am a comedian. That's all I can do. I can make you all laugh for 1 hour, 2 hours, no problem. But I cannot dance. I cannot sing. Meena ji tried to make me do choo-choo. I had to be careful, otherwise my hand would have hit Ananda's face and be mistake. So we all have our seed potential. I cannot become him, he cannot become me, I cannot become you, you cannot become somebody else. And you cannot define who you are based on what somebody else is telling you. Oh, your father was like this, why don't you be like that? My question always is, your father was like that, why don't you be like your father? Are you like your father? Oh, your father never made jokes. So what? It's his loss, not mine. But they don't know my father, but they say that, oh, he never made jokes. So people will expect things of you. You cannot put that as a pressure on you, saying, I have to be like what people are expecting me to be. That, if you take that role, you are finished. Yoga is not asking you to carry other people's expectations on your shoulders. In fact, yoga is not even asking you to carry your own expectations on your shoulders. Yoga is asking us to connect us to Swarupe Avasthanam, your own nature, Swarupa. Your own true nature. If you are a tomato, sorry friends, you can only be a tomato. If you are a mango, you are only going to be a mango. That's why in our traditional time, they were always talking about individuality, respecting everybody's differences. Respecting everybody's differences. And once we start to respect our own nature and accept our own nature, we will accept everybody else's nature. That is what is the way to be connected to oneself. I think I have exceeded my time by 7 minutes, sir. But I hope you will forgive me. But I have a promise to Mr. Madan Mohan that I will do a small chant. But I am afraid to chant in front of Yakshaganas and you and people like that. You can close your ears. Sir? I will be Swastha, sir. This chant is a very favorite chant of my father. Since you speak about my father to me this morning, I will chant this because it was a very favorite chant of my father. And this chant is the last part of the 3rd chapter of the Taittiriya Upanishad. And the chant is trying to describe the feeling one may have when they come in contact with the divine. So I will try my best. If you don't come in contact with the divine, don't blame me, because I can only try my best. We'll blame it on the mic. Tatsamagayannaste Kakrat Ahamasmi prathamaja Ratasya Purvandevebhyo Amritasya Bhayi Yo Madadati Sa Edeva Ma Vaha Ahamanna manna madantamadmi Aham Vishwam Bhovanamabhyabhavam Sovarna Jyoti Ya Evam Vedam Et Ityupanishad Hare Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste, friends. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I really want to thank my brother Ananda to have invited me here to try and wake you up this afternoon. I want to thank all the lunch people also to make it so heavy so that you are quietly asleep. And I'm really feeling it's a great privilege to have this chance to speak in front of elders like Madan Mohan sir and Ammaji. It's really my pleasure. And I think it's a great blessing. And friends, last thing I want to say, if in the course of my discussion the last 1 hour I've said something that has offended you in any way, it's your problem, it's not mine.
Really, I have heard his father 2 times, very beautifully. Today also, after a long time, after decades. What I was wondering is post-lunch. Without lunch, how beautiful, how powerful it is still. That's why. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I feel like I got the Oscar award.
Thank you very much, Kausthub, for this wonderful presentation. I think it is very beautiful that all of you had this chance to listen to someone speak of traditional wisdom and insights that are pan-cultural, they're universal, and yet in a modern manner. And I believe that the humor that comes along with it is very important, because whenever we give oral rehydration, for the electrolytes to go in, we need the glucose to help facilitate. So I feel that always the humor acts to help the transport of the information into our systems. So thank you very much, and let's give another round of applause to Kausthub for this. Cheers.